I'm going to show you how to get from B1 to C2 English in just 6 months. Research by Cambridge English, the producers of the IELTS test, have found that to get to B1 English level requires 350 hours of study and guided learning hours, but to get to C2 requires 1,000 hours. That means it takes 650 hours on average to get from B1 to C2. So that means if you spend 2 hours a day for 1 year, you can get from B1 to C2 English. Cambridge advised that that would include 1 hour that is taught and 1 hour that is self-guided. But if you can double this, you could go from B1 to C2 English in just 6 months. Now, you're probably thinking, is this possible? Or is it a good idea to even try? Well, let's take the last question. Is it a good idea to try? Well, research suggests it is a good idea to try because language learning is better when it is more intensive and fewer gaps in study is more effective for learning. Now, that's not just been made up. That comes from research done by Ben Knight, who is the head of language research for Oxford University Press, one of the most prestigious education publishers in the world. What he found was that the more intense your study was, the more it was likely to stick and the more you were likely to make progress. People who studied less frequently, such as for 2 hours a month, made less progress and they regressed more. They went backwards more. But is it really possible? Now, I know this is not going to be for everyone. It's going to require 4 hours a day, and that will be divided like this. 1 hour of listening, 1 hour of reading, 1 hour of studying, which means learning the grammar and vocabulary, and then 1 hour of producing exercises, writing, and speaking practice. And you may say, where am I going to find that from? Where am I going to get that time? I've got too much work. I've got my college. I've got my children. But before you decide, consider this. Most of the world spends over 2 hours on social media every day. This is research done by Statista. 2 hours. If I look at my chart, I see that I could spend 2 hours on studying and producing English instead. So why don't you turn this time into study and producing time? Analyse the grammar in the posts you read. Don't just read them. Use social media posts to practice your writing. When you type on social media, use it as practice for the grammar or vocabulary you've been learning. Use free social media groups to practice your speaking. Turn that 2 hours into English study time. Also, in the UK, people spend an average of 53 minutes per day on public transport. That's a perfect opportunity to practice your reading. It's nearly all of your reading time. So if you use a lot of time on public transport, get a device, get a book, get reading in English. Get your practice time that way. And if you're really serious, you could consider this. People spend on average 29 minutes in the bathroom per day. You could use this for listening time. This would provide half of the listening time you need. Get a speaker into your bathroom. Put something on there so you can listen to English while you're doing your everyday things. So 4 hours seems a lot to give every day, and not everyone can do it. But if you're creative and you really, really want to, there are lots of things you can do to get around the 4 hours and fit it into your everyday routine. But you might have one final question. Surely, Rupert, it's not just a case of having 4 hours a day to do something about English with. Surely I need to spend those 4 hours in the right way so I can make progress from B1 up to C2 level. What really matters in this is access to appropriate resources. And you can get help through courses such as the ones that I produce online. My Perfect English Grammar course is ideal to use instead of your social media time. Or for speaking practice, use my Advanced Speaking and Pronunciation course. There are also things such as graded readers, which will help you read at the appropriate level for you. If you go to freegradedreaders.com, you'll get a range of free English that you can read that's been designed for each particular level that you're aiming for. I always suggest that you read one level above your current level to help you stretch yourself to the place where you want to be. You also need to have motivation, and this is the key thing. How much do you need it? How much do you want it? If you really, really want it, make a way. You need to find good groups where you can speak with other people. And fortunately, nowadays you can find lots of speaking groups online where people just have decided to make a group where people can get together and chat. And this is the ideal opportunity for you to deliberately put into practice what you've learned on your grammar course, on your speaking and pronunciation course, or on a vocabulary course as well if you take it. You need to have a willingness to take risks. You'll only become confident if you're prepared to be not confident first. Make sure you take risks when you're not confident, and eventually your confidence will grow. You need to use a communicative method. What's a communicative method? Well, this is where you mix your English learning with actually producing it in a meaningful way. So don't just go through grammar books or vocabulary books. As soon as you learn something, get out and use it straight away. And you need to have access to a teacher from time to time. And I can also help you with this. On my sister channel, English with Rupert, you can get a YouTube channel membership where you can get lessons from me, and you can also communicate with me directly as part of that membership and get my feedback on your writing and on your work. So the idea of getting from a B1 level to a C2 level in English in 6 months might seem far away, but perhaps it's not as far away as it may seem.